Hey, what's happening? I just thought I'd share some bit of news here. I was um, I was on boxing scene, and there was an interview that was shout out to them, by the way. There was an interview that was conducted between, I think it was IFL, via boxing scene, obviously, with Tyson Fury's promoter, Mick Hennessy. Now, he was asked about this current status of the Tyson Fury and Vladimir Klitschko rematch that's supposed to take place next month. Okay, now according to Hennessy, uh, he says that the talks are still going. They're progressing. Um, he is still engaging. He and his team are engaging with um, Burt Bunter, who is the manager of Vladimir Klitschko via K2 Promotions. They're still going, they're still in the final phases of their negotiation process, whatnot. Things are going smoothly and are progressing, whatnot, as I just mentioned. However, the biggest roadblock that they've had is finding the proper venue and the proper, I should say, the most the most adequate, not adequate, the most adequate TV rights, which I find pretty odd because when the first fight got announced, those rights were though the negotiations, the venue, and the TV rights were sold at least 2 months before the fight even took place. So we're in March. Fight's supposed to happen in mid June. I mean, mid next month or early next month, whatever the date is. I have to go back and check. We haven't yet had a press conference or seen a press conference. We haven't seen any type of training footage of Vladimir Klitschko or Tyson Fury, for that matter, getting ready for their rematch. And Vladimir Klitschko himself, even though Tyson Fury has been more active in the media ever since becoming champion, Vladimir Klitschko's been silent. I haven't seen any videos. I haven't seen any interviews that he's conducted. I haven't seen any training footage of him getting ready for his rematch with Fury. I haven't really seen or heard anything, with the exception that there was a photo, I believe, that surfaced. I forgot where I've seen the photo, but it was there somewhere where Klitschko was dressed in a suit, and this was a few weeks ago, and he was giving some type of lecture or speaking somewhere. I don't know where it was, but he had some type of speaking engagement, I believe, and it seemed like he was he was geared up, being ready to take a rematch with Fury. Because if you're going to get ready for a fight, you need to be in the gym almost 5 days a week. Yet the fight's about to happen this anytime soon, which is about almost 2.5 months away from the time that photo surfaced. So yeah, this is very, very odd. And now I have reason to believe. Now some people are going to speculate, what is this fight not going to happen, or what's the deal? Because Tyson Fury had recently came out and said that two things. One, there was going to be a big, big announcement. Now, which led to speculation that the Klitschko rematch may be off, and he'll be looking elsewhere to find a formidable opponent. So we're still waiting on that. Two, Tyson Fury had also came out and said that he is highly interested in participating in this year's Olympics, which I did report along with other guys earlier this week, that the International Boxing Association, along with the IOC, which is the International Olympic Committee, has permitted professional boxers to compete in this year's Olympics, which I think that is crazy and is ludicrous. And then it gets even deeper. Manny Pacquiao has recently announced that he's willing to postpone his retirement just to compete in the Olympics. And Vladimir Klitschko, which I'll post an article to the link below, has expressed interest a few days ago as well. Last week he came out and said that he doesn't mind. He wouldn't mind. He's highly interested in competing for gold one more time, because Vladimir Klitschko already won the gold medal in the Olympics back in '96 in the super heavyweight division. So now this is only speculation. I can only be wrong here. Now, if this rematch is called off, could this mean that Klitschko is going to go for Olympic gold instead? If just pretty much call it a career and say, hey, look, I came out on top and fight 3 rounders against all these other goddamn amateurs? Seriously, who has little to no boxing experience? Okay, and now you got other professionals like Tyson Fury and Manny Pacquiao who recently came out and said they're highly interested in competing in the Olympics this year for gold. Oh my God, this is crazy and this is ludicrous. And let me go further to why I think this idea by the IBA is so ridiculous. All right, first of all, the amateur and the Olympic um, framework and infrastructure, I should say, was built on novice and beginning stages of fighters to compete in a situation where if they come out as if they stand out or become medalists like silver, gold, and bronze, whatever bronze, silver, or gold, whatever you call it, right? If they become medalists or standouts in the Olympics, whatnot, or any type of amateur platform, which is highly profiled, then they put them say they work themselves in a situation where they could get lucrative contracts, they could get lucrative endorsements, whatnot, going into the professional ranks. That's what the Olympic framework and infrastructure is built for. Like Anthony Joshua was able to succeed in that framework. Sugar Ray Leonard was able to succeed in that framework. Floyd Mayweather, Vladimir Klitschko, Lennox Lewis. Roy Jones Jr., even though he got robbed in the Olympics. Evander Holyfield, same thing. And also the Olympic gold team, which was probably the greatest Olympic team of all time, 1984. We had the likes of Meldrick Taylor, Mark Breland, Pernell Whitaker. I guess Evander Holyfield was part of that team. Tyrell Biggs. I can go on and on. But what the IBA is doing, again, is that you are robbing the very people who are trying to compete for a coverage and publicity and yet trying to get lucrative deals so they can get by in their lives. You're robbing them that opportunity to allow these professionals who are well seasoned, who are very well paid, and who are more skillful and far more dangerous going into these ranks. In fact, that these guys got to fight in 3 rounds without no hair gear against these professionals. Oh my goodness, man! You know how much ridicule and backlash if those guys get hurt against the likes of Manny Pacquiao or Vladimir Klitschko. Man, it's not a laughing matter, but I'm just saying. I think this is crazy now, and Lennox Lewis is the only guy who has logical sense when it comes to this matter. He said himself, this is a stupid idea. Oh man, I honestly, if you ask me, I really, really hope that the IBA reconsidered their decision and just not allow this to happen, because I think this is not right, and I think it's unfair for those amateurs and novice fighters who are trying to compete for coverage and get lucrative deals, just like how Klitschko got his deals after becoming gold medalist, Deontay Wilder, all those guys. So, again, now knowing that the Tyson Fury and Vladimir Klitschko situation in its current form, it doesn't look like, to me, I could be wrong, based off what I've seen and heard from Mick Hennessy, I just have a feeling that this fight is not going to go on schedule to April. It may happen later in a later date or later month, but if it's not going to happen in a later day or later month, and they're still in talks right now, in which the fight's supposed to happen in 1 month away, and Tyson Fury himself hasn't really said much about the fight. Yes, he has said some couple things about it, but yeah, he's keeping himself active by discussing other topics about the Martin and the Joshua fight, and Deontay Wilder, all this other stuff. That's cool, but I don't know. I just have a feeling that Klitschko may not take the rematch, but again, I could be wrong. Now, if you ask me, I don't think he should take the rematch, and let me tell you why. Because in that fight with Tyson Fury, right, it was not one of the best fights you've seen. Yes, some people will say it was not a great fight. I get all that. But styles make fights, okay? Now, Tyson Fury is a very awkward, orthodox fighter who can also fight in southpaw as well, okay? He has quick hands, he has an incredible long reach, and, of course, he has power and good footwork. This guy's got boxing skills, okay? Klitschko was in the ring against a man who was bigger than him, who was taller than him, who had a larger reach than him, and perhaps was more powerful than him, okay? When Tyson Fury was confusing Klitschko, Klitschko didn't know what to do. Okay, now this is nothing new from Vladimir Klitschko. When he's faced in a situation where he's out of his comfort zone, which Tyson Fury did take Vladimir Klitschko out of his comfort zone, he's very reluctant, or I'm not saying scared, he's very reluctant to take the fight to the very opponent who's outclassing him. All right. So the only thing he could do in a situation like that is continue to hold, grab, hold, lean on a person's back, so that way he can zap their energy and whatnot. That way he can take him back to his comfort zone by continuing to jab, hold, jab, jab, and then do the right cross. And then when he sees they're picking, he'll go for his power shots and commit on his punches. All right. So, uh, yeah, he obviously, he didn't do that in the Tyson Fury fight. He failed in that area, and the only way for him to win the rematch is that he's going to have to take the fight to Fury. When you're up in a situation like that. I mean, look at Lennox Lewis when he went up against Shannon Briggs. I mean, Shannon Briggs was outclassing Lewis in the first round, first round and a half of the fight. Lewis had to adjust. He knew he was going to outbox. He wasn't going to outbox Briggs, so he had to take the fight to him and get him out of there. And it took him 5 rounds to do it. So that's what Lewis had to do. Same thing with Vladimir Klitschko when Lewis was getting his head boxed off by Klitschko. What did Lennox have to do? He had to take the fight to him, even in the worst condition of his career. He still find a way to come back and fight those like probably the hardest 6 rounds of his life and his career and come out the victor. All right. So that's what you have to do, and that's what defines a fighter's greatness: willing to adjust in a situation where you're being completely outclassed. Evander Holyfield has passed that test many times. Mike Tyson has passed that test. Muhammad Ali has passed that test many times. George Foreman. I mean, I can go on and on. And Klitschko just didn't do that against Fury in that fight, and that's just my take on it, man. I'm just being real. So with that said, yeah, and a shout out to Hatman Strikes Back, by the way, because he actually put out a video about this earlier. Let me know what you think, y'all.